the Middle-aged Bodcast. Getting older, but having some laughs.
Welcome to the Middle-aged Bodcast with me, Raging Rich.
And me, T.A. Shelano.
And T.A., here we are. It is Season 6, Episode 2.
Yeah, it is indeed. Away we go. And guess what we're bringing back, Rich?
Could it be the infamous Season 1 popular feature of the weigh-in?
Back by popular demand. Not too sure why this is popular demand, but it is. As people have told us they wanted to see this come back. So we brought it back. Weigh-ins. And we've weighed in today.
Have indeed.
And Rich, would you like to declare what your exact weight today is, please?
Oh, we're not doing the old drum roll and all the other stuff then, T.A.
Well, you can drum roll if you want.
Well, you know, I'll put a sound effect in later.
Maybe there should be create a sound effect for this.
I've got a sound effect.
Maybe something heavy dropping. I don't know.
I've got a sound effect for this. I've got a drum roll. I've got everything.
You got it.
I'm
Okay.
Prepared. I'm the king of IT. This is what we've been saying.
So, what does the king of IT weigh today?
I am currently weighing in at 19 stone, 1.6 pounds.
Okay, I think for the benefit of people who actually understand these things, that's 1 pound 6 ounces.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Yeah, just being clear, it's 90 stone 1.6 pounds. It's 90 stone 1 pound 6 ounces, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes, it is. But you know, I was reading it off the thing. I was like,
well, now I've not told you what my weight is, have I?
No, you haven't. I'm guessing it's not 19 stone 1 pound 6 ounces.
Well, you've ruined that because it is. And that's why I hadn't told you. That's why I hadn't told you, because I was like, that's going to be absolutely brilliant to tell him during the recording, and you've just got him literally gone, oh, it's not going to be that, is it? So it actually is. That's unbelievably, and I couldn't believe it either. We've apparently come out exactly the same weight to the ounce. Or to the point of a pound, as you want to call it. It's just
that is
incredible.
Crazy. I did wonder why you didn't tell me.
Yeah, it's just an incredible coincidence.
Well, that's happened a couple of times now.
Well, I don't know if we've ever got to the point where we've both said it's exactly the same to the ounce. I think we've been the same to the pound.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was just too spooky for words.
Well, interestingly enough, T.A., I've actually put some weight on since the last weigh-in because I have been binging a bit on the food. I need to stop that. Ooh. I do need to stop. It's that emotional eating thing again. It's getting ridiculous for me. I've done really well, and then I suddenly have this period of just like, oh, you know what? I'll have a chocolate. I'll have a biscuit. Oh, that's annoyed me a bit at work. Or this is winding me up. Or just and yeah, it's not good.
Well, you shouldn't really have said that because, interestingly, looking back at the stats, because obviously we've not weighed in together since season 5, and which is quite a while ago now. And I was looking back at the numbers. Well, actually, you're on the same number. I've got that you were down as 19 stone 1 on our last weigh-in. So you've obviously been doing weigh-ins outside of recording that I wasn't aware of.
What?
So
no, you know what? I have been because I was getting to sort of 18 stone something. I can't remember. I didn't actually log it. I was just doing it.
Yeah, so I think that's outside of recording times.
So yeah.
So you've just done your own legs in there that you've put weight on. Because I was about to say, oh look, he's the same weight as he was in the last time we weighed during season 5, which is correct in my recordings. But you've been weighing yourself in between time, and now you're admitting you put weight on.
Winter indulgence, isn't it? That didn't help, I'm sure.
For the benefit of our listeners who will have no doubt completely forgotten the weights, I was just a pound less in our last season 5 weighing at 19, and you got you down as 19.1. And I know it's important to go back to the very beginning. So if we take it all the way back, we'll feel slightly better about ourselves. That I was 19 stone 6 at the beginning of season 1, and you were 20 stone 1. So you are a stone down from season 1. I'm only 5 pounds. So you've done pretty well there overall. Although there is obviously a lot more for us to do. And I think
of course.
we did.
Especially,
Yeah, go on.
well, given what we spoke about last week, yeah, there's definitely plenty more to do.
Well, I was just thinking more from the point of view of because we hadn't kept a regular rhythm of the weigh-ins going. I mean, I do think, irrespective of recordings, we should probably keep the weekly weigh-ins going and we keep a record. We're obviously going to bring him into recordings where it's just you and I, not with guests, etc. So you will see or hear a lot more of weigh-in stats, probably the most since looking back, maybe since like season 2 or 3, to be honest, because we have drifted a bit away from the weigh-ins, which is probably a mistake. And it's good to come back and be accountable. And we're not making it a competition, but just to be starting on the same weight is quite bizarre. But yeah, we'll see where we get to. And as you say, we have got a challenge that we need to rise to.
We have, and we need to have a bit more of a plan with that. But we were talking about it in the last episode. We have been putting our thoughts into it. Ruth was asking me about it and said, well, what are your plans for your route now? Have you figured it out? And are you going to start your practicing and all of this kind of stuff? And I went, yeah, we need to get into that. So been thinking a little bit about it and stuff I need to do. And they have, and I know when I say this, I just want to point out I'm joking, but they have moved the bus stop by me. So it's a little bit more of a walk from the bus stop to my house. Not enough to do any fitness levels, any difference. But yeah, that was a very bad joke by me, of course, as usual. But
it's actually slightly closer to the pub, if anything.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? But yeah, I think, go on.
I was thinking much more of, trying to put a visual in the mind of the listeners of what they can expect as we prepare for the walk. And if anybody has obviously seen the Rocky films, there's the one where Stallone and Weathers are on the beach training. I think you can see that that's not what this is going to be. But we can try. Well, we can't really because we don't have a beach nearby for a start.
Comparing us to Rocky 3, that's amazing.
Rocky 3 is the one with, is that Mr. T?
It's the one with Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. That's the one where they're training on the beach.
Ah, well, there we go.
Because Clubber Lang beats Rocky. Spoilers for Rocky 3. Clubber Lang beats Rocky and then Apollo Creed trains Rocky to fight him.
Well, we haven't got Mr. T. We got Mr. T.A. Shelano instead. But,
I pity the fool. Hang on. I pity the fool who hasn't bought the Doctor's Hidden Patients or Escape from Batachu Island yet. There's your free plug.
Well, indeed. Well, it seems to be has done quite well in America. Although one of the funniest things I saw was the page reads was somebody read about 11 pages in Australia and I think they gave up. So,
no.
I mean, what can you do? Although reviews are generally, ratings have been relatively favourable, it has to be said. So that's good. That's something. And I've obviously been testing out, working on the third book, which is interesting. But yeah, we've got some work to do, and I am slightly disappointed to tell the listeners that at the beginning of joining you today that you were eating biscuits, and all I had in my mind was put the cookie down, But yeah, so I think the interesting thing that we need to consider as part of our walk as well, I suppose, is the dietary side of things, though. I've been thinking about this more about, like the mindful side of things in terms of what you actually consume, because you don't necessarily think about it on a day-to-day basis. But I'm trying to keep a more accurate sort of food diary now and stuff and be a little bit more thoughtful around certain things.
Well, we're going to need to have a little bit of a think, aren't we, about things we're taking with us. We're obviously going to want to take water and first aid supplies, of course, because you never know, do you? So little things like that that we'll need to take with us. We'll need to plan the route around areas where we can top up water, for example.
So is it going to be a bit like, like the marathons, where you've got people handing out bottles of water and stuff, and then we're gonna have like somebody in a car following us, filming, checking we're all right.
I suggested to Ruth, I was like, oh, we should have little stations where like people are there giving us water and stuff. She said, Rich, What are you talking about? You just plan the route where there's a shop you can go in and buy a bottle of water. And I was like, yeah, that's true.
There is that. I'm not entirely sure that we would be able to create something like this, actually, just for us doing this. It's perhaps mildly too much. But yeah, you're right. We do need to think about we should probably have like a weekly plan now of how we're working towards.
We need to do it. Yeah,
working towards this, because it is coming upon us relatively soon. I'll say relative. We've got a little bit of time still, but we do need to make those preparations.
We probably need to start actually doing a bit of a route, like just to get out and about and have a bit of a walk, and just sort of see what our base levels of how far we can walk and how long, sort of at a starting point, and then build that up as we go along. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this as a bit of a challenge for us to do something different, and yeah, it should be a very interesting one indeed.
So what's been happening in Raging Rich World?
This past weekend went to a comedy gig, which was fantastic. So you recall from last season that I'd been on holiday. While we were away, we were getting ready to go out one night, and Ruth put the telly on in the room, and the Sewing Bee was on, and it was hosted by Sarah Pascoe. So we're watching it, and once we're ready, turn the TV off and leave the room and go watch the entertainment in the hotel. Well, the next day, randomly get this notification that there's this event on, and Sarah Pascoe is actually going to be quite nearby. So booked that actually while we were away. And yeah, so that actually has finally now happened. So yeah, there were 3 comedians doing like a full act, and then the compere was Darren Harriott. Now, he's actually quite local. He's from Albury in the West Midlands, so he was loving it. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm back in like my home area," and yeah, and he was really good. And I have got to tell a story about a member of the audience that he spoke to. But so he was on, did his bit, and then they brought out the comedians. So the first comedian was Rhys James. He did make a joke about the fact there is a footballer with the same name as him. Because, of course, when you say that name, a lot of people are like, what, the footballer? But he was brilliant. I thought he was really funny as well. They had a guy called Josh Pugh, who I hadn't heard of before, but he was really good. He was kind of doing lots of family jokes as well and stuff like that about his sort of growing up and then obviously becoming a father and things. And then the main event after the break was Sarah Pascoe, and she's actually going on tour quite soon. So she was trying out some new material for that tour. But I was saying to Ruth afterwards, because the 3 of us went, so me and Ruth and her daughter Beth, we all went, the price to see one of these comedians on their own would be the price of this ticket that we went to. I said, so you're getting 3 comedians plus another comedian as the compare for the price of seeing just one of them. Like that's a decent bargain. So I thought that was good. And apparently there's some more of these being planned for in the year. So they've got Milton Jones doing one quite soon.
Oh, obviously I went to see him. Well, last year. It was last year, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. So yeah, I thought he was brilliant. So would definitely recommend seeing him.
I've got to tell the story now. So Darren Harriott's out there, and he's like, right, let's do the old talk to the audience bit, right? He then starts talking to this guy on the front row, and he goes, "Oh, excuse me, sir, are you like here on your own?" And the guy points to his seat. Now at this point, we can't see any of this, but you can hear like Darren Harriott's telling this story. He's like, "Oh, does that mean you're on your own? You're pointing to the seat." And then he's like, "What? Like, what's your name?" And the guy goes, "Oh, my name's Will." He says, "Oh, okay then, Will. What do you do for a living?" And he goes, "You're not going to believe this. He says, I get paid to take people on walking tours of Stratford upon Avon while I am dressed as William Shakespeare. Darren Harriott then starts pissing himself laughing, and he just goes, guys, he says to the bloke, he goes, can you just stand up, please, and come over here? The guy gets up, he walks to the front of where the stage is at the front. He looks just like William Shakespeare. He's got the facial hair. He's got the haircut and everything. And it was just like, what the hell? He was like, well, how did you get started doing this? He went, I just turned up. And they went, yeah, you hired? And clearly it was because you looked like him. It was just the most surreal thing in the world.
That's
so now what's happened, we reckon, is that everyone who's in attendance is now booking to go on this walking tour at Stratford upon Avon in the hopes that they get this bloke who looks like William Shakespeare to take them on a tour of William Shakespeare.
Wow.
So yeah.
It's different, isn't it?
It was very strange. It was brilliant though.
You never know who's going to be in an audience, do you, or what you're going to get sometimes with these kind of things. But yeah, you wouldn't really be expecting that. I mean, to think about it in one way, I guess it was meant to be, because if he hadn't been there, not to be. How many Shakespeare jokes can we now fit in? I think that's the point.
Alas, poor T.A.
Yeah, I'm struggling. I don't know about you.
I just gave you one. Alas, poor T.A.
What does that mean?
Do you not know Alas, poor Yorick? I knew him well.
No. What?
Oh my God.
I don't know what you're on about. I was thinking like King Lear in my head.
I mean, if you want, I can just start quoting lines from 10 Things I Hate About You, because that's based upon William Shakespeare.
No. I think we've drifted too far away from the story. So the gist of the story is that you're going to now take us to Stratford upon Avon to meet the guy that looks like William Shakespeare.
We should get him on the podcast. He could probably tell us some funny stories. You could make this
into a really roundabout story, though, by doing that. By going on his tour and saying to him, do you know, mate, I was at a comedy show and you got called out to the audience, and that's why I've come to see you walking around Stratford. There could be something in that, I think. I like the idea of that. Perhaps actually our next walk will be all the way to Stratford to see him. That would be a hell of a challenge. It's a lot further than our current plan. But maybe if the fitness level can get going, and we can slightly reduce this 19 stone, 1 pound 6 ounce scenario, we can maybe achieve these things.
Well, you never know, do you?
That's going to be us achieving these goals. Speaking of goals, we obviously talked in the first episode of the season about things that we were aiming for. How are you getting on in working towards your cookbook, Baking Bad?
Oh my God, I wish I'd never brought the baking thing up, because that's just turned into another chicken satay and Raging Rich's recipes in joke that's never going to go anywhere.
Well, what have you been cooking? Take it.
Well, today I actually have done pulled pork in the slow cooker. Okay. So yeah, I've done it before, not for a long time actually. So yeah, that's been good. And so yeah, had that tonight for a bit of tea and got some left over for a couple of days this week. So yeah, I can't moan.
Well, I've been fending for myself because Mrs. Shelano has been away on a training course for a few days. I don't know
which one of you's had the more enjoyable break because of that.
Well, that's not very nice, is it?
I was just getting in there with that joke, because you'd have made it yourself.
Well, I probably would have done. I mean, I'll be honest, it's been a bit quieter around here, that's for sure. But in terms of from a food point of view, I've resisted the temptation for takeaways and all sorts of things. It's a good job. Otherwise, I could have ended up being 19 stone, 1 pound and 7, and then I feel like I was losing this battle with you. But yeah,
it's not a competition.
It's not a competition. Keep saying that it's not a competition. So yeah, I actually had stuff out the freezer, which included things from like leftovers from our previous meals, defrosting and then shoving in the oven and whatnot. Had a fish curry, fish coconut curry, with another one of Mrs. Shelano's recipes that she did. And then there was this sort of garlic sesame chicken, which I did with some rice. And and it does feel better when you do stuff like that that's not, just McDonald's or, something bad. You feel better, and it's
let's just say these things aren't terrible to have. A takeaway is not the end of the world, but if you have them every day, it's not the best.
Well, I honestly think at this point, for our training, we need to make sure we're not indulging in such things.
This is what I mean, though. But this is what I mean. It's okay. What I'm trying to say to our listeners is we're not turning around and going, "Don't have takeaways ever."
No, but for our training, we should be on soup.
Oh, here we go. He's on about
Just
training
soup.
again. It'll be fine.
Soup and water.
Soup and water.
Yeah, we'd just be like going on a. I was just about to say a prison diet, but prisoners eat pretty well these days. Yeah, liquid. Got a proper sort of. We'll get the weight off before we get to the walk. We'll be ready then.
Well, we'll have to cancel our post-recording pub trip then as well.
No. It's a big thing in the UK at the moment, Rich, is to try and keep the pubs going. So many of them are closing down and whatnot. We can't. We must keep the pub going, even at expense of our own health.
Have you seen that John Richardson, it's been on TV recently, and he has bought shares in a pub?
Okay.
Essentially, what happened was there's this pub called The Plough in Fadmore, which is near Kirby Moorside. It basically closed down. It's in Yorkshire.
Okay.
And it closed down in 2011.
Okay.
But it was registered as an asset of community value in 2013. And the locals have basically bought the building and want to restore it into its former glory. It's the only pub in the village.
Right.
And John Richardson found out about it and actually ended up buying into it. And he's been helping them to restore this pub. So that was it was just an interesting thing about you saying that about the pubs, and obviously it being a big thing with places shutting down and things like that. That was just quite an interesting one, that he's actually been there helping to keep one running, which I think is excellent.
And shall we, in our own way of post-recording trips.
I thought you were going to say we were going to invest in our local.
Well, we're going to invest in a pub.
Yeah.
Are we? It doesn't look such a safe bet these days. We're happy to keep it going on the other side, but in terms of investing in them, it could be, goodness me, I might need to sell a lot of books to make that work. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? In terms of, we've talked about this before, but the loss of community type things is always a shame. So if we can keep some things still going, it would be a positive, certainly.
Well, it's the big thing about the local town halls and stuff, isn't it? And that's where all these comedians are going now. And there's a lot of musicians. Obviously, we spoke last year about seeing John Power. He actually was due to do another gig local to us at a different town hall that has been cancelled.
Oh, right.
I saw it the other day. So, that's quite interesting. And I thought, well, this is clearly how they're trying to keep these places going.
Yep.
So, it's a shame. And we are sort of getting to that point, I think, where we've mentioned the streaming and digital media thing, where I think I said in a previous episode, a lot of the younger people are actually going back to physical media. But in terms of pubs and local places in the community, they're not something you can just get back. Once they're gone,
no,
they become something you don't just get that back the way you would with you can just go and buy CDs or DVDs and whatever. You can't just do that with a building and a community build, something that's serving the community. So I think it's important to keep these places going.
Yeah.
And support them as much as possible.
Whilst balancing out our training and our commitment to the podcast, because we have committed, to the year of we will improve as this goes on, this work in progress by the end
of course.
of season 8.
Listen, I totally agree with that, but this has got to be a real thing. Like we never said we're like these, oh my God, you've got to do this, and this, and you can't go to the pub and you can't have a takeaway. There's none of that. This is about just improving our very poor baseline of health and fitness. Well, certainly mine. And yeah.
What I was going to say about that is it would be hugely hypocritical if we were to come on here being like, don't do this, don't do that, because we're not the exactly the people that fit the mold of, not doing those things. So it would be ridiculous if we took that approach. It's important to obviously look after your health, and we're reaching an age where you need to take it perhaps more seriously as well. So there's a serious side to that. But yeah, we're certainly not those people who are like, you can only have a leaf for dinner and some water. But
it's like, it's like the mental health things that we've spoken about as well. And I think there's no one size fits all for everything. It's what works for you.
Well, in this episode, one size does fit all, because we're both 90 stone, 6 ounces. So that's what this episode shall actually be called. And I look forward to seeing where we get to at the end of the later part of season 8 or wherever it is, and see if we can get down to 11 stone 4 and 2 ounces. I don't think we will, but we can try. But
that would be scarily eerie, wouldn't it, if it happened?
Maybe we should run the 12 miles. That'd be a real challenge. No, that's too much.
Oh my God, here we go. Look, that can come next year, the running. Let's do some baseline fitness and let my knees get a bit better first. And then
what is it they say?
Try the running after.
Don't run before you can walk, or whatever it is, isn't it? There you go.
There you are.
So it's
wise words.
I was going to say baby steps, but a baby would probably be better than us at this challenge. Oh dear me. Okay, well, I shall see you in the Lycra at 6 a.m. Tomorrow morning.
Lycra?
Yeah, we're gonna. Did I not tell you that bit? We're gonna do the 12 miles in Lycra. That's the next challenge of this.
You're gonna be telling me we've got to wear fancy dress next or something?
Well, it sort of is, isn't it? And I'm gonna get some specially made. You're gonna have Raging Rich on yours. I'm gonna have Shelano on mine. Yeah, there we go. And it'll rain the day we do it, and it'll be horrible. But
don't say that.
But we'll get through it.
We don't want any of that. We don't want any of that. Hopefully, the time that we're trying to aim for, hopefully it'll be dry. It'll be a good, nice day.
This is the UK. You never know what you're going to get with the weather. Yeah. Best intentions, but we will see. We will see. Right. Well,
but yeah. I mean, there's a few things coming up to look forward to. I think that, we've got the rest of the season to go. We've got the guests to come as well. We've got some great guests.
We're going to have first guest episode of the season next week, have we not, Rich?
We have indeed. And so we will be joined by fellow podcaster Nicola Barden, who is the host of the Tis Yourself podcast. That was great chatting to her, and really looking forward to bringing that to you. So yeah, please do stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. Do enjoy the guest episodes, Rich. I think the listeners do as well. They seem to navigate towards those more than the ones of me and you talking
you say
about
that, but that's not always the case.
And,
that's not always the case at all. Right, I'll see you tomorrow morning then for this run. Let's do it.
I'm going to do some sit-ups now. I'm getting ready.
Well, thank you very much, T.A. And yes, listeners, we will be with you next week. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Bye.
Want more middle-aged podcast in your life? Of course you do. Follow us on social media for behind-the-scenes stuff, extra larks, and all our latest updates. We're on Instagram and Threads at Middle-aged Bodcast. Facebook's easier. Just head to facebook.com/middle-aged podcast. If you're still hanging on to Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, we're at Middle-aged Bodcast. And if you're on Blue Sky, it's at middleagedpodcast.bsky.social. Or you can swing by our website, middleagedpodcast.co.uk. Give us a follow and stay in the loop. Cheers for listening.